You scumbag. You slimeball. You sleaze. Why do all guys only want the same thing?
Guys literally only want one thing, and it's fucking disgusting. Oh, welcome back! Here we are in the Illusory 106, the first proper dungeon in this lovely game of Tokyo Mirage Sessions. It's the Maid Dungeon. I bought this game day one, and I was greeted with this.
Close your eyes, okay?
My real name is
Raymond. I don't know what I expected, but not this. I didn't really watch any of the trailers before I got this game. I watched like one or two. I never saw a Maid Dungeon, and so when I first walked into this, I was like, excuse me? What's going on here? I'm glad I played this away from my parents that day. Yeah. Speaking of being greeted by strange things and playing in front of your parents, since we're just dungeon crawling, this is going to be me just blabbing about, and I want to blab about Amazon reviews real quick. I looked up some reviews on Amazon for this game, the Wii U one specifically, and I found this lovely question. Does anyone have a fix to having to play this game in front of your family? I want to avoid dying of embarrassment during the music scenes. A screen, maybe? Of course, the answer is saying, like, this does not support off-TV play, because on Wii U it didn't. Switch does, thankfully, so I hope this person picked it up on Switch and had a better experience with it. But I feel this. I was living with my parents when Tokyo Mirage Sessions came out, and I played it in front of them sometimes, and sometimes my dad came and saw me while I was playing it, and it was questionable, but same. I was judged for playing this game, and I don't blame them. It's a very strange game. It's very weird. I really want to highlight something here. I want to highlight the special attacks. They're super dope. They're so cool. Look at them. Look at that awesome animation! In the previous episode, I mostly talked about exposition. I introduced all the characters, introduced the story, introduced the plot. I wanted you to know what was going on. I wanted you to know the world. And hopefully I did that well enough. But I didn't really get to touch on why I really love this game. And I feel like this special attack kind of highlights that. It's this game's style. It's the fashion. It's the amazing animation, the pleasant presentation, all of that tied together to an addictive combat system that's impressively designed. If you really think about this combat system, it has so many layers to it. This is one of the most in-depth combat systems that I've ever experienced, but it's also so welcoming, it's so casual friendly. I am unbelievably impressed every time I really think about the combat system. If this game didn't have an amazing combat system, I don't think I would be in love with it as much as I am. I would still like it because outside of the combat system, Tokyo Mirage Sessions still manages to do some really wonderful things. The plot tackles things in a very silly or serious manner. It's very one or the other. And sometimes it doesn't land. But when it does land, it really hits. I found myself outrageously laughing multiple times throughout my first playthrough of this game. But I also felt emotion during the few somber segments. If a game makes me consistently laugh out loud, then it's already becoming something I will viciously defend, like Paper Mario Color Splash or Origami King. I love those games because they make me laugh, and Tokyo Mirage Sessions is no different, because it is so outrageous, it is so ridiculous, it is borderline satire, and that's exactly what they were going for, and I love it. It's more than just the style and the combat and the silliness. I also have nostalgia tied to this. In 2016, I met my good friend MaxHP, a fellow YouTuber. He created Fire Emblem Fates custom conversations back in the day, and he invited me to stream with him. I suggested Tokyo Mirage Sessions, and we played it. And because we played it, a community was formed, and I was able to meet people who have turned out to be some of my very closest friends. We streamed this weekly for about a year until he finished it. And that year of streaming was like the real introduction to this magnificent chapter of my life. So Tokyo Mirage Sessions changed me and opened the door to a new world for me. So this game holds a very, very special place in my heart. It really does. because of this nostalgia and this bias, I absolutely forgive this game for some of its shortcomings more than I should, and I try to acknowledge that as much as I can. But I do love this game, and I can't deny that my love stems from it being a life-changing game to me. Everyone has that life-changing game. This is just one of the few that really changed my life. Although some might think that the streams I had with MaxHP weren't the greatest experiences of my life, because we had to voice every single line in this game, which, as I said, thousands of lines. I'm not one for voicing dialogue in playthroughs, personally. It's just not for me, and that's just me. I have nothing against people who do it. I enjoy when people do, honestly. I personally don't want to do that approach myself. But we did that during that stream, and I'm gonna get him back for it during this playthrough, so stay tuned for that. I'll likely return to this topic about how Tokyo Mirage Sessions is just so fantastic and how much I love it and how it changed my life later. But I just really want to get out now in an early episode so people understand my bias and understand why I love this game. But for now, let's focus on this man who is getting attacked by shades. The purple-haired dude. This man is the one and only Yatsufusa Hatanaka. The man behind the greatest collaborations in the idol industry. He's actually the man who arranged the Kyria concert we were just at. And he's someone who's in the background for most of this game. But he's important. I promise. Just remember this man. Purple-haired dude. I love how the game says Itsuki tells Hatanaka where the exit is. And I just like to imagine the conversation probably went like, oh yeah, just take the red maid outfit down to the left and then go down to the blue maid outfit and then go straight and you'll find the exit. Like, what kind of directions are those, man? Maiko got back to us and she said Kyria is okay, and that's so great. I'm so glad my delicious, beautiful plum that is Kyria is okay. We should send her get well soon card, letter, text. I love this part because Tsubasa's talking about her sister Ayaha and how she used to always cheer Tsubasa up, and now it's Tsubasa's turn to cheer Ayaha up. And while this is all happening, some incredibly dramatic cinematic trailer music starts playing. It's so intense.
In a world.
Damn, she's really going through it right now, huh? This is genuinely a touching scene where Tsubasa's trying to get through to her sister and cheering her on, trying to break free from the Mirage possessing her. I wonder who that Mirage is. Any guesses? You know a game is going to be fire as fuck when a main character needs to sing to defeat a boss. It really reminds me of Earthbound Beginnings. And if I'm comparing a game to the Mother series, whether it is the worst one, Mother 1, then that's good. That's good. I love Earthbound. Also, I didn't get to show this last time, but Tiki can perform Radiant Unity, and it is absurdly dramatic. Big epilepsy warning because they go overboard here. Tsubasa. Yeah! I am joined by the illustrious support creator, the Hat in Time enthusiast, the Fire Emblem video essayist, MaxHP, as I go through this Maid Dungeon. Hello, Max.
You started and you introduced me with something I haven't done in like 4 years.
That's okay. It's just what Fire Emblem fans know you for, you know? And I had to throw the Hat in Time in there because you love it so much.
That's true, and everybody should play it and buy it. It's on sale like every fucking week.
It's a good game. I finally played it 4 years later.
It's crazy. You actually played
it. Game. But I brought you on because I explained to everyone already that we spent about a year on this game on stream. And this is how we really, met. This was the beginning of our friendship and everything. That was 5 years ago.
It was 5 years ago. Why did you remind me of that?
things have changed in the past 5 years, and
Yes.
I brought some questions here to ask you about Tokyo Mirage Sessions, this wonderful game that I clearly love and not many do also love. It's a acquired taste, I would say.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
I just remember back, like, you screaming about playing this every single week. You would scream on stream about how much you dislike playing this game. So I'm glad things have changed.
Yeah, I kind of have things that I like and dislike about it now. I think it comes from I played more like SMT-esque games since then, so I kind of appreciate what it does more so now, and also just time has softened my opinion on it.
I gotta ask, what was your first impression of this lovely game?
My first impression is, why am I playing this?
Because I told you to.
Because you told me to. So I mean. Here's the thing. I was a pretty newly christened Fire Emblem fan at this point. I think people might be surprised to find out that Faith was actually the first Fire Emblem game I ever played. And so I had only recently gotten on board. So I don't remember if I had played how many other games I had played by this point. Was this before or after I played Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn?
This was before you played Path of Radiance. I think you started playing Path of Radiance during Tokyo Mirage Sessions.
Yeah, maybe. It's hard to... I don't remember, honestly. I think I played Path of Radiance before this. I think I didn't play Radiant Dawn.
Okay, that's fair.
I think Radiant Dawn I didn't play. I think I played that after this. I think my first impression was like, what is this? Because like this is barely Fire Emblem, and I partially still feel that way, but at the same time, nowadays, I kind of see more of the Fire Emblem influence, and but more so in its gameplay than its story and characters. And I think that was kind of my issue, because I generally come to Fire Emblem for the story and characters, and there wasn't a lot of that in this game, for me at least.
I mean, not in the first half of the game, that's for sure.
Not in, like, most of it.
Now that you've had time over the years to play other Fire Emblem games, where would you rank this lovely game in your Fire Emblem ranking list?
So, all right, let me lay out the Fire Emblem games that I have played. I haven't played anything before Blazing Sword. I should state that now, which I do need to correct at some point. I'm just holding out for that Genealogy remake. I really do think it's going to happen at some point.
Genealogy in Thracia, baby!
So Blazing Sword, Sacred Stones, Path of Radiance, Radiant Dawn. I think I started playing Shadow Dragon, but I didn't finish it. And I didn't play Mystery of the Emblem yet. I got to get to that. So that's 4 so far. So and then Awakening, all 3 Paths of Fates, Echoes, 3 Houses. I've done 3 of the 4 paths actually. I haven't finished Silver Snow yet, but I did start it.
That's the one you don't have to finish. It's okay.
Fell off of Heroes, but I was playing it originally, and then Warriors and this game. So how many? Is that like 10? I think.
That's about half the series, so I'm going to say 10 or 11.
Yeah. So where would I rank this game?
You say dead bottom. I'm going to be a little hurt.
It's not dead bottom. I don't think it's dead bottom. I think Heroes is dead bottom.
That's very valid. It is definitely very near the very bottom for me.
Dead last. I like Warriors more. I like 3 Houses more. I like Awakening more. I obviously Path of Radiance is my favorite, so I like it more. It's like around where I would rank Sacred Stones, like the GBA games. That's around where I would put it. And then, like, I think Radiant Dawn would be below that.
I'm definitely in the minority for loving Radiant Dawn, so I'm aware of that.
No, it's perfectly fine if you like that. If you like it, there's a lot of things to like about it.
So it would probably land around 7th or 8th place on your list.
It's closer to the bottom. That doesn't necessarily make it mean it's a bad game, but like I have too many issues with it for me to rank it any higher.
Of course. And I mentioned it in the beginning when we first started recording, but you know, my final question to you: how do you feel about Tokyo Mirage Sessions Sharp FE 5 years after your stream series on it?
It's weird because, like, it does kind of feel like everything started with Tokyo Mirage Sessions for me, as far as like
did.
the online era of my life, which I'm almost feeling like is coming to an end in some sense. Not that I'm gonna like, that's not me saying like I'm like definitively leaving the internet or something like that, or I'm never gonna make content anymore.
Justin, MaxHP is retired.
It marked kind of that era of my life, and I almost I do kind of have a sort of reverence for it because of that. As a game, though, it's frustrating because I see the potential. I see a lot of potential in what it does, and like especially having played, having played the last 3 Persona games, having more experience with RPGs in general, I appreciate more about it. But I also don't like. There's like a lot of things that I didn't like at first, and now I like even less now. I think its art style is pretty uninspired, honestly. For example, I think like I like it's especially the way the NPCs appear and like the way things look. It doesn't really. You could call it stylized, but it seems kind of like the color NPCs. It just comes across kind of lazy to me.
That's fair. I like the colorful NPCs personally, but that's fair. That's understandable.
I recognize that it's partially, but here's the thing: it's partially a design choice, and it's partially a way to cut costs.
Absolutely.
The session system. Once because I played it again a bit. Like when we're making the Tokyo Mirage Sessions video, and then a little bit again when it came out on Switch. And like now that I didn't really understand the session system too much when I first played the game, but like now that I kind of get it, it's actually kind of brilliant. Especially the way you can choose this like skills, like the session skills. I didn't really like pay attention to those when I first played. Good. Yeah, it's got a really nice battle system. It's got cool. I do want to give it another shot at some point, and like actually finish it. Just to really define how I feel, but I guess that's kind of where I stand on it for now.
Okay, that's fair. I just remember at the end of our stream series that we did together, you ranked the game 6 out of 10. Do you still feel like that's... Yeah.
Did you watch like episodes of the stream?
No, I just remember this from 4 years ago. It really impacted me. I just want you to know that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, have you been saving all of the unlisted links?
No, I just it just stuck with me. It kind of hurt. I cry about it every night.
I didn't. Did I uninstall that? Did I uninstall it? I think I did.
You uninstalled it on the final stream because you were so sick of the game.
I was so sick of it at that point because I was really done with it at that point, and like it was getting to the point where I was just like, especially because there was that one stupid ass dungeon that's fucking stupid, and I hate it. It's the one that's in like
the final
area.
Dungeon. Yes,
yeah, the final dungeon. That's just fucking stupid. Fuck that dungeon. That brought that game down like 2 points. That one dungeon.
It has one really annoying puzzle. I will agree with you there.
So 6 out of 10, yeah, that sounds about right. Maybe on a second playthrough, I'd maybe bump it up to 7, but I don't know. We'll see. For now, I'll stick to 6.
I'll take anything, take anything somewhat positive about.
I just remember that I got really mad when we got to the Quentin Tarantino part because it was just identical to the second part.
Yeah, that's when you had your huge freak out where you screamed at me.
That's what I remember. I remember that. I was just like, why is this happening again? Why are we doing this?
That's all the questions I have. But, when we did the stream series together, you had me voice a lot of lines.
I did.
I described this in this episode already, so I won't explain it again. But I want you to voice 2 lines for me. Can you do that?
Is it from a certain character that would kill my throat if I did it?
No, it's not. It's not from a character you'd expect. It's not even going to appear in this episode. It's going to be in a later episode. So anyone watching right now will have to come back later to hear your incredible voice acting.
Okay, sure.
Thank you for joining me for this. You have been my TMS partner for 5 years. It's how we started. It's how we met each other. You know.
Yeah.
This is how we began.
Oh yeah. No, I wouldn't trade it for the world.
Wow, I love to hear that. Okay, well, thanks for joining me, Max.
No problem.
Yosh.
Bro, she looks gone. Sing your song, Tsubasa. Sing it! As someone who has zero rhythm and is tremendously tone deaf, I will never understand how people can just learn to sing. Regardless, I've never really tried to learn how to sing, but that's irrelevant. The culprit behind it all is a Reversa from Fire Emblem Awakening. Sure, the first boss may have been the second boss, Garrick from Fire Emblem Awakening, but now we have a juggernaut character, a Reversa, with the big, large, 2 personalities right there. Tsubasa! Don't flip!
Toma!
We're here fighting a Reversa. Now, this fight is also fairly easy, as long as you're leveled up enough. I took some time and grinded in the background and got to the level where I'm at, and this should be just a piece of cake. But if you're still like level 10 or 11, you're probably gonna get creamed. If you're avoiding all the fights, then, well, you've probably never played an RPG before, and I wouldn't recommend starting with this game as an RPG, but you should fight most of the fights. As for Reversa, I like Reversa as a character. She's fine. She's fine. Yeah, she's passable. There are cooler characters in Awakening. That we'll get to it later, actually. TMS has multiple villains from Awakening, and there's one that makes me very happy. We're going to get to them soon. But Reversa, I don't really have much attachment to her. She was just kind of there in Awakening. I actually like her more in Tokyo Mirage Sessions than I do in Awakening, because in this game she's actually provoked some emotion with Tsubasa and her sister, whereas in Awakening she provoked nothing. I had zero feelings for her or against her, really. She didn't do anything. So I absolutely like her more in this game. Okay, so I'm kind of lost with Reversa's motivations in this game, to be honest. Like, she talks about being so jealous and how she wants to be just like everyone in the gang, like Tsubasa, but then she dies, and then she threatens Itsuki, saying that more of her kind are gonna invade their world, and I'm like, what's your goal? Are you attacking us because you're jealous? Or are you attacking us because you're the first wave of people invading the world? I don't really understand her motivation. She's just kind of there. What matters is Ayaha and Tsubasa are back together, and that's lovely sisterhoodness, and I'm here for it. And just like that, Shibuya is back to normal. Can we get our tickets refunded? I love me a good story about siblings. It's why I love Fire Emblem Fates. The best sibling romance in there.
What the hell?
There's one thing I learned from this. What's that, Maiko? Possession makes you look weird? Itsuki. He may be dense, but Itsuki is for sure the party leader. Even Kiryu agrees. Well, Kiryu has joined the party. I wonder how Tsubasa feels about Kiryu joining.
I am looking forward to lurking with you two.
Also, Ayaha is working for Fortuna Entertainment now. I hope you enjoyed Ayaha being in the story because, that was it. Itsuki, stay at my desk after this. I was wondering if you'd be interested in a private lesson. Oh, whoa, wooga! Alright.
You scumbag. You slimeball. You sleaze. Why do all guys only want the same thing?
Guys literally only want one thing, and it's fucking disgusting. Maiko didn't do anything to Itsuki, don't you worry. She respects him, I think. She just wanted to ask if there was anything he wanted to do in the entertainment industry. But of course, since he's plain white bread anime protagonist, he's like, oh, I would just rather support others. Bro. Come on! Do something! See, now, I know we're all talking about the entertainment industry right now and all this stuff, but can we just, like, flash back to about a day ago in the timeline of Tokyo Mirage Sessions, where Itsuki, Toma, and Tsubasa were freaking out about tests in school? Do you remember school? Do you remember that? Because they're all students still. How are they able to do this? Are we still going to school? I don't see that in the gameplay. It hasn't been mentioned. They didn't graduate. Sometimes it's better not to question anime. That's what I've learned.